that narrative around, it's not even narrative, it's a truth about, Black women in the medical field and people not taking their, I'm not saying their health seriously, but
Their concerns, their
their
complaints.
concerns.
Yeah.
And he's like, I had to stop and just like, hey, babe, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And because I talked to him about when Z had to go to the hospital for a couple of months ago. And it was one of those things where you just think like, man, this is real. And I don't know if it's different coming from a Black man or somebody who loves you, because I think we're also taught to be tough. But a doctor, we're paying you to take care of this person. Like, hey, this is your job. If she's telling you she's in pain, she's in pain. What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. It's your boy Ferg, joined my co-hosts Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, what it do?
Sometimes I really hate when we miss a recording session. And what I was going to talk about, like it would have been so timely had we talked about it before it aired. But Chappelle just dropped a new special on Netflix over the weekend. And I'm not going to give away any of the jokes, but a big theme of his special was the criticism he got for performing in Saudi Arabia. And that was going to be one of my questions, like how you guys felt about American comedians performing over there. So he pushed back on some of the criticism he got a couple of jokes on that. But I don't know, man. I just thought it would have been so timely for us to talk about that. And then obviously we had no idea he was going to bring it up. But It just would have been one of those timely discussions, man. So I was like, when he started talking about it, I was like, oh, God damn it.
we can still talk about it. We can still talk about it.
Yeah.
We did. The funny part is we didn't even know he was dropping a special.
That's that part. Like we watching the fight, and he's like, "Hey, after the fight, got a new special." It's like, damn, okay. So that was kind of cool, man. I enjoyed it. He's at the point now. I think a lot of people agree. It's not so much that he's funny. It's just that you enjoy you may hate the story, but some of us enjoy the stories that he tells. I will admit he's become controversial, and even one of his jokes, when more people have seen it, we can get into it. But one of his jokes, even I was like, that might be a bit distasteful, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of shows, Bel Air ended its 4-season run. I enjoyed it, but it's one of those shows where I was kind of glad it was the end. It's like, okay, looking at this storyline and how it's playing out, yeah, let's go ahead and end it. Now they set it up to where it could be a spinoff, which is Will and Carlton, to be honest.
Don't tell me too much about it because I haven't watched season 4.
Okay,
but
I won't. But yeah, man, it was a cool ending, man. And
I like the show, so
and that was like one of my favorite. I would say one of my favorite current shows on. So a part of me hated to see it go. The only other thing I checked out, man, was on Peacock, Devil in Disguise, talking about John Wayne Casey, which could be confusing because they did a documentary with the same title on the same person, but then they just released a series a few months ago with the same name on the same person. So when you pull up Devil in Disguise, it's literally like two different things. Most of us know who John Wayne Gacy was. He killed at least 30 people. They feel like there's more out there that they never found. But what was intriguing, man, is, a lot of time we do the whole comparison of, Black people and the struggles they go through versus gay people and the struggles they go through. And, I get the people that recoil when the two are compared, but man, it's hard to ignore some of the similarities. I think any reasonable person can admit that there are some similarities. And when you look at how Chicago police handled those cases, because they involved a lot of male on male intimacy and sex, they were either disgusted by it and didn't want to investigate it, or just felt like that was some F bomb. I don't want to say the word, but that was some F bomb type of problem, and they never took it seriously. And he was allowed to thrive and kill all these young boys and young men until another police department finally took it seriously, man. So it's just another way in how different lifestyles, different cultures, different races are treated differently. People lost their lives because of the reaction of how people had towards homosexuality back in the day, man. I mean, because the obvious, what John Wayne Casey did was obviously terrible. That's the obvious part. But just looking at that part and how homosexuality was treated, just kind of make you shake your head, man. But that's all I got, bro.
Yeah, it's what do they say? Civil rights is everybody's rights. Like,
Yeah.
and, you know, I think it's one of those things that we forget. If you're fighting for civil rights, everybody's going to get those civil rights 90% of the time, and that's why so many people in the '60s kind of piggybacked and dovetailed off of the Black people civil rights movement.
Why do you think so many other minorities forget that though? Like we talked about how, I mean, we looked at who suffered now from this pushback on DEI, and statistics show that a lot of white men have suffered from it and stuff. I think we saw an article where a lot of Asians were not getting accepted into university as much as possible. So how do they forget that it's for them too?
Because they weren't so involved with it.
Well, I think some never knew. It's, if you're not part of it, if it's not directly affecting you, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, especially when you think about immigrants. Like, they weren't here, right? They're just getting the benefits of what we fought for, you know. And even when you talk about women, like white women, right? They were the biggest benefactor of the civil rights movement, but they tend to forget that because, like Ferg said, they weren't involved with it. They just see that I can go to work now, or I can open my checking account now by myself, and I don't need my husband. And you get 2 generations removed from that. The kids, Gen Z or whatever, they don't even know that 50 years ago, their grandma couldn't open an account by herself, right? They just totally forget. And I think that because they were assimilated so quickly into white culture and that closest to whiteness, that they get to say, I'm not dealing with it anymore. I don't have to deal with those atrocities. Black people still have to deal with it. So we still teach our kids how to interact, the social stigmas and everything like that. They really don't have to at this point. So they're not still dealing with kind of the fallout. And I think that's how they forget.
It's I'm sorry, Fer. It's just crazy because I think we have too many individuals that want that proximity to whiteness. Instead of, and that'd be our main problem with some, I don't want to cast them all, but some conservative Black people. It's like, hey, you made it, and now you're looking back on us because now you got your proximity to whiteness. It was just funny to see Myron Gaines. I don't know if y'all know who he is from the Fresh and Fit podcast. He thought he was gonna get in that Turning Point USA event. Had to remind him, we good. We don't want you in.
Yeah, you hit on it, Buff. I think one of the biggest things and glaring things, just because I think we're giving people a little too much credit, is the true want to separate themselves from others. Nobody wants to be the victim. Nobody wants to be the villain. Nobody wants to be the victim either. So that's a Black problem. That's a gay problem. That's a woman's problem. Because the closer I bring myself to that, the more I realize I'm possibly a victim or I'm vulnerable. And so there's power in attaching yourself to the quote unquote the winners, the oppressors. Pick your side. Mm-hmm. Do you want to side with Black people and say that this country's messed up, there's a lot of things that need to change? Or do you want to side with everybody else and you don't want to become a target? Nobody wants that target on their back. So it's funny. I think racism is ingenious. Isms are ingenious. Mm-hmm. That's why they call it systematic. Racism itself, sexism itself, is not as damning as the system that operates it.
They brought the no 3 Brothers No Sense cup. I see it. I see it, Buff. I see it.
Get your merch. But that's all I got. What you got, Razzie?
I want to start out with, if you guys are liking the conversation, click subscribe, do all that good stuff that everybody always asks about, you know, and you know, if racism is bad, prove me wrong or something like that. What did Chappelle say? Yeah. So yeah, all that. So if you don't like it,
disagree, prove me wrong.
So, but no, a couple different things, man. I want to kind of circle around YouTube, and that's why I kind of started out with that, with the whole click and subscribe. is HBO is dumping Creature Commandos onto YouTube so people can watch it free. And so that's two different things, right? Is one, all of these streaming services, you can tell they're not working, right? You can tell Hulu and Disney having to kind of combine, and Paramount Plus and all of those are kind of going away, and HBO Max is struggling. I really do think that all these streaming services and having to have a subscription to every one of them doesn't really work there. So I think they really need to go back to I hate to say cable model, but they need to go back to a model where you can get most of your stuff, your premium channels you can add on. And I think Amazon is doing a really good job of that, where Prime, where you can add on different channels. You can add on HBO, you can add on Paramount, you can add on whatever for a certain amount, $5 a month or whatever, but still watch it in a single platform. And so I hope that's what Netflix does when they take over Warner Brothers Discovery, is say you can get HBO content for another $5. You can get Cinemax content for another $5 or whatever. I hope that's what they do, so that we almost get to where we're cable-ish there instead of having to go to all these different platforms. Because I think that's a problem when you talk about all these shows. We talked about it, right? You can't get all the shows, and you can't even access them. You can't know what's going on because there's so many different places you got to go to find out about the show there. So it's kind of cool that, or sad that they had to do it, but I think that's a good sign that we're going to start kind of shrinking all of these different streaming services there. Even the Oscars announced that they are going to be on YouTube in 2029. So they're not going to do I think it's on ABC usually, but they're not going to do network television anymore. They're going straight to YouTube. You just watch it on YouTube, and they want the ad revenue. They want because I think they can get more eyes just having it on YouTube as a live streaming instead of being on network TV. So that's a little bit of the death knell for network TV. So the ABC, CBS's and everything. Truthfully, I only buy cable for sports events, right? Like I put YouTube TV on really just to watch sports. That's the only thing that I can do. And usually these live events, but if those live events started moving, there's award shows and things like that, start moving to a YouTube or something like that, I think your normal, even YouTube TV, your normal television is going to start dying as well. And so I just want to kind of throw that out there. Get your thoughts on that. What are y'all thinking as far as that?
Well, first off, Paramount said don't count them out. All right, you just automatically giving it to Netflix because you have stock in a certain company. But Paramount got pissed after that Netflix announcement, man. So they're going to be fighting over that. And first off, we owe the cable companies an apology. I don't think I realized how the model worked. It just always felt like you guys are raising your prices on us and you're being greedy. When in actuality, it was we saw it with Disney and YouTube TV just a couple of months ago, like where YouTube TV was like, that's too much for us because we'll have to raise our price that much on our customers. And Disney was like, well, this is the price. The price is the price, bro. Mm-hmm. So these networks are the ones that have been raising these prices. And unfortunately, they've made it to where, I got to say this, people are back to wanting to steal cable TV with all these pirate sites and stuff, which are risky. But if you find a reliable pirate site, you're going to use it because of how greedy they've gotten. They had it at one time to where it was advantageous to get an HBO Max, a Disney Plus, and a Netflix, and you would be good. But the way they've raised prices and now they've gone back to adding ads, mm-hmm. They complete us and then they screwed us. So it's just unfortunate.
Yep.
It's really interesting to see where that goes. I can't keep up with the shows. I'm trying to think. Netflix, Amazon. What do I really watch streaming service wise?
Make sure you use your benefits from your credit card to get Apple TV because that's free for you now.
Okay. How do I do it? Just an app?
I think you go into the rewards and you got to connect your Apple TV code to.
I don't have it. Okay.
You got an Apple account. So you connect your Apple account and then it'll do it for you. It'll activate it. So yep, you get Apple TV Plus free now, which not much on there. What is it? What's the one about the guy with the soccer team and everything like that? That's the only one that I really watched on Apple.
I heard a lot of great things about Slow Horses. The one with my man from Atlanta, Paperboy.
Okay.
He's like a fake DEA agent, him and his partner, and they rob drug dealers. I forgot the name of that one. The morning show, but if you watch the morning show, just the first 2 seasons. If you like it after that, then that's a bonus. But the first 2 seasons is where it's at.
Yeah. Ted Lasso. That's
Yeah,
the one
I
was
find
thinking
myself
about.
going back and rewatching shows at this point.
I do that too because I miss you.
I mean, now it's like we started rewatching. I'm not saying rewatch. I'm watching Naruto for the first time all the way through. And so I'll find a series and just commit to that for a while. Just because I can't keep up. It's too many different things going on.
Yeah. Ali just discovered
anything else, Rosie?
Ali just discovered Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So that's another one that's a really, really good anime. It's pretty short. I think it's like 20 episodes, 25 episodes or something. So check that out for you. Only other thing, man, I want to shout out to researchers. Again, CRISPR technology is going to revolutionize what we're doing. And so CRISPR is like a gene therapy, that type of thing for the folks that don't know. And so they can go in and they can actually edit the genes and that changes the biology of people. And so they're doing that for different types of illnesses. So I was watching I saw an article on National Institute of Health, and one of the things that they were looking at is they have a CRISPR treatment that can change how your liver functions, and when it lowers the bad cholesterol by 50%. So that's huge for the community. Folks like me that have high cholesterol, have to take rosuvastatin every day, that type of thing. I think that's good that you don't have to have those statins. You don't have to use those statins every day. You're able to lower that cholesterol from one treatment. So that's going to be huge to lower increase heart health and lower heart attack, opportunities or capabilities for the body. So that's all I got, man.
Start doing Metamucil and fish oil.
I did that. It's not diet. It's not diet. It's not exercise. Like, we've done all of that with my doctor. He was like, it's genetic. My dad had, my grandfather had a heart attack. My dad had high cholesterol. He was like, it's genetic. So my doctor was just like, we got to put you on it. So I'm on like the lowest dose of it, and it works. But he's like, it's not that. It's not diet. It's not exercise. It's not anything. Because we tried that for like 2 years as it was increasing. And he was like, even when I was in the Army, I'm running 2-3 miles a day, and it still was high.
How do you feel about new technology like that, new medical breakthroughs? As far as, are they still in trial phases, or are they going to begin trials?
They're in human trials now. So like, it's actually at that level where I think it should probably go into like the general population next couple years. For me, I think science.
What company?
Yeah, that's why I need to look that up. What company is doing that? So I think it's I don't know if it's an actual individual company. I think it's, and that goes to when we talk about the Department of Education and everything pulling all these grants, Health and Human Services pulling all these grants. Government funds a lot of the research for this stuff. So I mean, most of these companies, like I talk about, Department of Education, Health and Human Services, government usually creates grants for this type of research because most companies aren't going to do that. They like that you have to take a statin every day. They don't want to have to worry about that. And so I really think that we have to make sure that we're investing in this type of research from a government perspective, because most companies aren't going to do that to actually try to secure or lower your risk or single dose type of things. They want to where you have to take it. They want to treat it. They don't want to cure it.
Okay. Yeah, one of the downfalls of when the administration threatens to withhold funds from these universities that do this type of research. But what you got for it?
Well, I'm gonna lighten it up, man. Merry Christmas, man. It's the week before. It's the week of Christmas.
Yeah.
Dear Santa, you are a.
That is a classic. That needs to be a Christmas movie. They need to turn that into a movie.
They do, because I watch it every year, bro. Every year I watch it.
Now, and I'm gonna probably watch it tonight. Y'all got all your Christmas shopping and stuff done?
I cashed out the last 2 people for their kids yesterday.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cuddy Calhoun, by the way. Slim Cuddy Calhoun and my cousin.
Nice. Yeah, I got to go get some gift cards. But other than
Christmas
that,
shopping.
done.
So you watched your Boondocks Christmas special. You guys did anything else prepare for Christmas? I'm pretty sure decorations are up. You guys watching Christmas movies, making hot cocoa, any Christmassy stuff yet? Or
done all that, but it still hasn't. I think, I don't know if you guys remember, we went to New York a couple of years ago for Christmas. I think that was such a high for us that like this year just kind of feels like, but yeah, I've made the high call. I watched a couple of Christmas movies. We were late putting up our tree, which is unlike us. So it's just something, a little something missing. We just had a death in the family too, man. So
Yeah.
trying to overcome that. But yeah, overall, happy and blessed, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
What about you, Razi?
It's some funny. The kids haven't decorated their tree yet, so all the other decorations are up and everything like that. It was the weekend I decorated the house. They were busy. They had like parties and all kind of stuff they were going to, and so I put their tree up, and they haven't decorated their tree yet. So I'll probably force them to decorate their tree tonight so that it's ready for Christmas Eve. But other than that, done the shopping. Gifts are under the tree and all that. I've got to go to the grocery store today to get food for Christmas Eve because I don't want to wait till, day before or whatever so that we can actually have the food for Christmas. But other than that, yeah, I'm done. I'm ready. I'm ready because I get vacation after Christmas and I need that. That's what I am struggling to get this last little bit out, these last couple days out for the year. And then after that, if it's not done, it can wait till January 1. I'm just, I told my boss, I'm like, I need the break. I need to be able to sleep in and not worry about even, you take a vacation or you take a break, but the kids still have to get up and go to school. So even if you take an off day, if it's an off day where the kids have school, you still got to do that. Or if it's like a Thanksgiving break or spring break, you guys are going somewhere. So it still doesn't feel like just a lazy type of day. And so that's what I'm looking for is I told the kids, we're not a whole lot. We're not going a lot of places. Y'all can figure it out in the house. I'm sitting down and I'm relaxing. We might go towards New Year's, but other than that, I'm relaxing this week. So I really don't care if they get house, they just get tired of being in the house and stir crazy and everything like that. They got to figure it out. Go outside, ride your bikes, something. But don't lean on me. So
Well, good for you. Good for you. I mean, it's good. We've got Christmas decorations. I made sure I put the tree up right before. That was the last thing I did before I left for Chicago a few weeks ago. But it doesn't feel like Christmas yet. I don't know if it's the weather. I think it got up to 80 degrees yesterday.
Damn.
dang.
High 70s. Like the high today should be 78. Well, 78 right now. So, the high today should be 79. So it just doesn't feel like Christmas. I think maybe coming from Chicago a few weeks ago and seeing, really, as I was driving or riding the Uber, I was thinking, I understand the appeal of a white Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Because then when you were driving by and you saw the decorations and stuff, it felt like Christmas. So right now, it doesn't feel like Christmas.
This is how Florida
Besides
feels
the
every
fact
year,
that
though, right?
So what?
Florida feels like this
Florida.
every year,
Yeah, they put Christmas lights in palm trees.
yeah.
And I don't know. I'm hosting, of course. My mom's not coming down this year, so maybe that might be part of it. Usually preparing for her and people to come. I think we're gonna have a smaller Christmas this year. Who knows? People might pull up at the last minute, but I don't know. So, but I'm excited though. Christmas is my favorite holiday. Well, between Christmas and Thanksgiving, because I don't have to spend money for Thanksgiving. A chance to get the people, loved ones together and just celebrate. And like you said, rise of that downtime before the beginning of the year. And with my new position, even though I've been technically doing it for the last couple of months, it officially goes live January 1. And so, I'll be in the thick of it then. So just the anticipation of that. But how are you guys doing? I know Christmas the holidays can be tough times. Everybody's doing good?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
How's Tab holding up, Buff?
She's doing well. I made a post after we got back that I think made her cry a little bit. And I mentioned Wendell earlier. He did something for my mom's birthday, which was on the 18th, her heavenly birthday, that made me cry while I was on post. Eyes got a little watery a little bit. I was like, God damn it. But man, we're trying to use those losses, especially this recent loss, as motivation to do more big family things. So if something good comes out of it, it makes it less sad, man. So
Yeah.
we hanging in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because I text Tab after, and I was just
Good
like,
looking out.
it's so much. It's a big deal to get together as friends, as family, and everything else, and it's even more now because of that. Like because we're getting to that age where people are
We're at that
passing away.
age.
Our
When
friend, yeah, like it's not,
we ain't getting to,
you
we're at that
remember Miss
age.
Pearly, and you like I kind of remember Miss Pearly, like your mom always talked about that, but it's like now it's getting to where, dang, Jason died. Dang, John died. Like it really is like you knew him, you were friends with them, and everything like that. So it's much, much different now. And it really does make you start to reflect and be like, I want to be there. I want to be there for everything. So I know you roll your eyes when I'm like, are we going to this? Or whatever, Ferd. Like I'm like, we
Because
going.
you know, because no, you don't get to use that. No, absolutely not.
You want to go to the moon?
Just so the listeners can know, he's talking about a fight in Vegas. And he gonna try to, you saw that first, he gonna try to bring that in.
Yeah, Razi always. We ain't talking about a little family reunion. We're not talking about you know, I don't know. And you're right. You're right. Definitely look at those moments, and that's something I'm continuously working on, is trying to create and more memories. Be intentional about those things, which is not of my nature. I'm usually a go with the flow, enjoy the moment, not try to create moments. But I think those things are a necessity while you have the chance.
And with us, all three of us, we're in different cities. Hell, I'm in a different time zone than y'all. But I'll say this: if you can make it to support somebody who's experienced a loss, if you can make it, go. We know you always can't make it because you got to work, schedules, costs. But if you can make it, go. None of that, do you think it'll matter if I go to them, or you think they want me there? Like, take it from experience, man. It means a lot when your people show up for you.
A hell of a lot.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't think you know it at the time. Like, if somebody says, "Hey, man, I might not be able to make it," okay, that's fine, I understand. But I'm telling you, man, it means a lot. So if you can make it for that person, do it. Just do it, because they are gonna appreciate that.
Yeah, I get it. I was kind of talking to my therapist about something like that recently. It's not the expectation. No,
Right?
I can
Yeah.
accept and appreciate when he's like, "Do you allow people to do it for you?" I'm like, I allow it. I just don't have an expectation, but it does, and it means that much more when you don't expect it.
Exactly.
Because I just think we all had our seasons where it was rough, just rough,
Absolutely.
and then just coming off, even if it wasn't you per se, just being so close to it, seeing somebody else go through it, and just knowing or having a kind of a sense of what it feels like to have that loss. It's just tough. Like, man, I know, man, the grief, the moments of the times you want to call somebody, like you already know how that happens. So, but nah, man, you're right. And like I said with Razi, we're not coming of age. We're at that age. We are
Right.
now the deliverers of the news versus the people that were getting the news. Because when our parents or grandparents were telling us stuff like about Miss Pearly or whatever, you're like, oh, okay, that's not that. That's I'm sorry for her loss. Now it's you feel it.
It's at that point. If I right now, if I ask you, "Hey, do you remember such and such?" Like, one of your thoughts is going to be like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
what happened to him?"
yeah. Yeah, like if you get now, you're at the point where you get a strange call from somebody like,
Right. That never calls. Yeah.
"Hey, man, everything good." It's my sisters, even my siblings, they call me within a certain time. If it's during business hours or early in the morning, it's like, "Hey, everything. Oh, give me a call when you get a chance." Hey, everything good. There was a point with my siblings where when we call, it was just like, "Is everything okay?" Because it was just so just wrought with just so much. But I ain't ready for nothing else. I lost a family member on my dad's side, one of his cousins recently. It's just especially when you have a large family.
I had a brief strike of guilt when we got the news. I consider Tab to be a bit of a pessimist at times, right? So her cousin called her. We're on the couch. Her cousin called her, who is the younger sister of the one that just passed away. So her cousin called her, and her cousin has called her before. It's not that rare, but for whatever reason, Tab looked at the phone. She was like, "Oh Lord, I wonder what happened." And I'm like, "Yo, be positive. She could be asking about the family trip next year or something like that." Man, she answered the phone, and it was that news that the cousin had passed away, and I was like, "God damn it!" One of the times I'm trying to be positive, and it's like it just
Yeah, it's
backfired.
life. Life is tough that way, man. Sometimes I don't know. It's life is about decisions, little things like that. I was having a conversation with a coworker the other day about his wife having to go to the hospital. I think she ended up having pneumonia, and it was one of those things where, in his mind, is she overreact?
Mm.
You know, that narrative around, it's not even narrative, it's the truth about, Black women in the medical field and people not taking their, I'm not saying their health seriously, but
Their concerns, their
their
complaints. Yeah.
concerns. And he's like, I had to stop and just like, hey, baby, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And because I talked to him about when Z had to go to the hospital for a couple of months ago. And it was one of those things where you just think like, man, this is real. And I don't know if it's different coming from a Black man or somebody who loves you, because I think we're also taught to be tough. But a doctor, we're paying you to take care of this person. Like, hey, this is your job. If she's telling you she's in pain, she's in pain. But I mean, it's weird that way. But let's go ahead and jump into the questions, man. Let's go ahead and get this going. Who wants to go first?
I have a fairly generic question, man, because depending on our schedules, it's possible this might be the last time we record this year.
We're gonna make it happen before the end of the year.
So just in case, man, what have been your best moments of 2025? Moments, so it can be more than one.
I
need to think of mine.
There's been a few moments that were really, really good this year. I think Mardi Gras was really, really good. Hanging out with you guys, riding the float, all of that, just being in Mobile, the balls and everything. I think that was really a good one for us. Another one would be Sophie placing, right? When she first time running a track meet, getting a silver or bronze, I think she got third place, got a bronze medal in the 200. That was huge for her. And so I think that was a really good one. Chicago, me and Leah just in Chicago chilling out, Kendrick Lamar, that concert, that trip, that was just a super dope trip for us just to be able to kind of connect and have a good time and be in a different city and do something without the kids and having to be parents for a little while there. I think Ollie playing football, right? His first time, and I think the first time he got at a game, he was so excited and everything. When he got his ring, they got second place, but getting to the championship and getting the ring and everything, I think that was huge for him, and it was really heartening for me to hear him say, I want to do it again next year, like being excited about that. So I think just all of them opening up, broadening those moments of just them being excited about being around, doing things, and being around family, friends, and loved ones. And so I think those are kind of the big ones there that I've really enjoyed the year because of those moments. So
okay, for me, I will say, I think first was the cruise for me. Just getting a chance to relax with people that I love, that I consider close. Mainly my wife, just sitting out there on the balcony in the hammock and just
that hammock,
taking it all in. Just taking it all in and just realizing that we've come so far, which I'll piggyback into another moment that just happened recently. Was, I think I had an aha moment right before my birthday. I think I'm very reflective of myself. Is I'm not big on celebrating my birthday because I'm firmly like, I ain't doing that. My mom did all the work. I call her, happy birthday me day. But it was just thinking, there was a moment about a week and a half ago, and we'll talk about this on another show, or maybe even today, was when I recognize how much I've accomplished, and not in a boastful manner, just a prideful manner for myself, whereas I remember And I think we talked about this. My birthday, 2010, when I turned 30, I was, I was, I was at my wit's end. I was broke as broke can be. It was another grown ass man, a friend of mine, that had to take me and my wife out for my birthday to celebrate. And so that was December 12th, 2010. December 13th, I had a sit down meeting with myself. And I've talked about it on multiple occasions, but just realizing that was the day that truly changed my life. And that was the day I decided to be grown. Like, that was the day I was like, either get off the pot. You need to put these things into place. Here's a list of things and how much I and Z and my family have accomplished. And during that time period, it was just really like, man, you're not supposed to be here. Like, this isn't, you're not supposed to be living this life, because I had almost given up on myself. So it was just kind of it was reflective, because it's like the day after my birthday. So just understand, like, I'm 45 years old. Sometimes people get upset about getting older, but it's when you're, I think, continuously growing, being older is not a negative, looking like it doesn't seem as much of a negative thing. So I just had that kind of moment with myself. And just moments with my kids and watching them grow. It's the little things for me. It was TJ a few weeks ago, wanted me to be at an event they had at the school. And I told him I probably wasn't going to make it. But I was able to catch an early flight, get home early, and be there for their talent show, for their after school program. And when he saw me and that smile he had on his face, and he continued to keep turning back around and smiling, that it touched me. It was like, it was pure joy. It was admiration that my son loves me. Like, it was just, your kids love you, but it's just something about, and just as I continue to watch him grow, and just, he's that boy that really looks up to his dad, right? He started to take my side more, no matter what I do. Like, well, daddy's right. And it's just like, man, this is a beautiful thing. I have a son that just really dotes on me and like hangs on my every word. And then same with Sky, is just watching her grow and still become a young lady, but still have that I love my dad moments. The other day, she just came and just, the way she lays on me, or the way she just kind of just puts her head on my shoulder or whatever. And it's just, man, you're doing something right. So I think just knowing that the people I love me back, those are the things, spending time with my wife, spending time with my kids, spending time with my family and friends. It's just the simple things for me. I can't think of, and maybe I'm missing something, a big moment, but I can't think of a big moment, but it's always the little things for me. So.
Yeah. Dig it, man. I dig it. I got a few, man. The first one that came to mind is Jasmine being in that Page program. And it's not so, yes, it's kind of a prestigious thing, and I was proud of that. Being able, like, LeBron wanted to play with his son on the Lakers and stuff like that. Like, going to work with your child, man, that's not something a lot of parents get to do. And for 3 weeks this summer, me and my daughter went to work together. And because of where I work on the department, like, we were close. Cause like, I could have easily, for anybody that knows the Capitol and Capitol Hill, I could have easily been working on the House side, which is like so far away from the Senate chamber, to where I never would have saw her. But I literally worked in the Senate chamber to where I got to see her throughout the day, all day, just riding to work with her and riding home every day, man. I'm pressed to find 10 better feelings than I had in that moment, working with her and just seeing her overcome her fear. She was so afraid and frightened, uh, as it got closer and closer to us starting that program. And I just remember those first couple of days, how nervous she was, and she made her first big mistake, and she cried. And what I loved the most about her, because wasn't really sure she had it in her, she cried whenever that first day was, she cried. And then the next day she was like, I'm ready to overcome that. I'm ready to get past it. I'm ready to do better. And she did better throughout the rest of the time there, man. So it was just cool to see her overcome that fear and do something that even she said, she was like, what's crazy about this job is it's so serious. If I worked at McDonald's and messed up an order, it's just one customer. I mess up here, it's like the whole government
Get shut down
because of me. So it was just, it was cool, man, to see that. And I remember being at the sneaker ball earlier this year, and Jasmine had applied an interview for the school that she's at now. She had to interview for it. She had to take a whole art portfolio, write an essay, and all this stuff on why she should be entered into this school, accepted into this school. And we were just waiting. We was like, yo, we were supposed to hear something by now. And they sent all the parents an email like, hey, it's taking a little longer than we thought. And in the back of your mind, like, oh, that's bullshit. That means we ain't get it. They fucking with us. And so we just try to be patient and patient. And it wasn't until that night, I think Tabitha got the email. We're like literally at the table. And she's like, oh, wait, I got something. She opened it up. We reading it together and shit. Man, we started celebrating like right there at the sneaker ball, bro. So that was a great feeling right there. The progress I made. I don't know if you guys remember last year. I asked, do men do vision boards? Because I had done one. And man, I'm looking at that vision board now, man, and I'm just proud of a lot of the progress I made. I think I am the definition of that progress. I love hearing the greats talk about how they remember their failures more than their victories. Like Tom Brady. This guy won 7 Super Bowls, man. He brings up the 3 that he lost more than the 7 he won. Mm-hmm. Kobe, the same way. And I think Kobe out of every athlete, because while I think Jordan was better than Kobe, and I could be wrong, but I think Jordan reached a point to where he was like, yeah, this is the best I'm ever going to be, and I'm better than everybody. I think he reached that point in his mind. I don't think Kobe ever reached that point. I think even when he felt like he was best in the league, he felt like, God damn, I still need to get better. I'm still not there yet. There's something I can work on. And that was me this year. Like, as much progress as I made, I still looked at, damn, I still got a ways to go. It's still a lot more for me to do and progress on. So I am proud of the strides that I made this year, especially when it comes to that vision board, which prompted me to do another one because I'm like, hey, let's keep this shit going. Other than that, Tab and I, we went to Miraval for anniversary, which was like this wellness resort. And it was just cool. We've been married for, oh Lord, we've been married for 19 years. We dated for 10 years before that. So I've known her for 29 years of my life. And to learn something about her while we were there was kind of cool. And she answered a question in one of the classes that I was like, oh, that's why you enjoy that so much. Like, I never knew that. So that was cool. And last but not least, man, it's going to sound funny at first, but the government shutdown. Going back to athletes again, a lot of them would tell you the practice should be much harder than the game. You go through hell in practice, so when the game comes, it's easy as hell. And we talk so much about saving and investing. Ferg continuously says he always wonders if he's doing enough. I always wonder, am I doing enough towards retirement? Will I be ready? Will I be ready?
Why you leave me out of that?
To go, well, because you're rich. Me and Ferg, we working class. So to go through that and not have to miss a mortgage payment, miss any, payments or anything like that, and pretty much just continue life as normal. It just kind of made me proud that, hey, you still maybe not be perfect in that area, but your preparations have done some good because here you are going a month and a half without a paycheck and we're still continuing on. So I was a little proud of myself on that. And obviously I still want to get better because Lord knows I do like to spend. It was kind of cool to know that I was somewhat prepared for a financial setback, man. So that's my 2025. Yeah, if it's on
2025 wrapped. No, love it.
Yeah.
So
who's next?
I can go a little bit about this because I think it ties a little bit into what you're saying. I saw a post and it went viral as they tend to do, but it was an argument that people were having where one person said, they don't like when people ask, what do you do for a living? because they're trying to size you up and, figure out how to treat you and blah, 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 blah. Then the other person came back and said it's a normal part of conversation to ask somebody what they do. It's how you can latch onto it and you can kind of figure out other questions and that type of stuff. So I want to ask you, brothers, when somebody asks you that, or do you ask that to other people, is that kind of, do you feel like they're sizing you up, or do you feel like that's kind of normal conversation? What do you do?
So that's
And
like a
Buff, your
big
camera
deal
went out.
here in
Okay, yeah, you
DC.
turned it back on.
And people, it annoys people so much because they feel like people are just trying to see what your income level is or not. I don't quite see it that way. I think asking that question just is a way. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are plenty of people, especially if you're looking to date. You ask that question to see if they meet your standard, because people have these income standards now before they date someone. But in my opinion, it's just a way to see what you have in common. That's the only way I see it. Like, what do you do? You do this. Oh man, what's that like? I thought about doing that, but I wound up, working where I'm at now. So that's the only way I see it. But I do get why people get annoyed by it, because it can be used as a way to set you lower or higher or on their standard depending on what you make. And as we said on this show before, that doesn't necessarily matter, because a lot of times it matters on how you manage your money.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are doctors that probably are in more debt than some high school teachers, just depending on how they manage their money. So that's the way I see it.
I agree. I think it depends on the person. I think it depends. People have different intentions. Some people use that just to gauge. It's a hierarchy. It's a status check. And so I think it's the environment you're in. But I think it's also it's part of those things. So okay, I'm in Houston. It's, are you from here? Oh, where you're from? Okay, where'd you go to school? Like it's those things, is like you said, Buff, to see where the connections could be. You went to UF, I went to FAM. Okay. My wife went to Florida. And it just said, oh, you're from Mobile? Okay. My homeboy's from Pascagoula. Or, I was stationed in Biloxi. You see those things. And I think that career especially at this stage of life, it's part of it. I think when you're younger, maybe it's more, but it's you can tell, for the most part, you can tell a lot about people based on their career path. Oh, you're a teacher. Nothing wrong with teaching. Like, man, you guys, there's a lot going on with education and how you guys are feeling. There's a lot of political stuff going behind it. It's, you're in the you work for the government, man. Man, how was the government shutdown? Oh, Capital City Police. Okay, calculate the math. How long you been there? Okay, you've been there 18 years. Okay, they get a pay raise. I don't think anybody's doing that. I think it's the environment you're in. I don't think I really asked that. I don't ask that question to anybody I'm not really trying to get to know or understand better, or people that don't ask me that question. Now, I will get that question every blue moon, just because I walk around in scrubs all day. And so when I go pick the kids up, or I'm at something in school, every year it's, are you a doctor? That's the first thing they ask. And I'm in medical sales. Okay. Next best thing, I guess. It's they're trying to, and I think it's the way I carry myself. I think some of it also is the way you carry yourself. Are you in the military? Like, they're thinking, are you in the military? Are you law enforcement? It's a certain aura that certain people give off that people are trying to figure out. The way I speak, people aren't surprised that I'm in sales. The confidence and all that stuff. Okay, it makes sense. I'm putting you together. I think sometimes when you ask that question, maybe guys, when you find out what somebody does, are you usually surprised?
The most, not necessarily surprised, but there has been people that I'm surprised, but I think normally it makes sense.
Yeah,
like, because
it makes sense.
The conversation that we've had before that, because I think you talk a little bit about the situation and when you're asking that. I think it's also the place that you ask that in the conversation, right? If that's the first couple of questions you ask, then maybe there's something weird about it. Yeah. Versus, like, we've been talking for a few minutes and, I've gone through the, hey, where are you from? What school did you go to? And now I'm asking, so what do you do? It's a part of networking. I do think that a little bit of that mentality of people are trying to size you up is kind of an old world mentality. I don't think.
Also, I think there's how we meet. So if I come to DC and I meet some people through Buff, so what do you do? Well, I work with Byron, yada yada. Okay, so I'm seeing the connection there. You know, if I meet somebody and they're like, I'm a Pilates instructor, like, didn't see that coming. Right? It's nothing wrong with Pilates instructors. It's just you're trying to put the connection. Also, this is one of his coworkers, or she works with Tab. Oh, this is we went to school together. Now you're trying to see, you're putting piecing the dots together.
Yeah, it's building the network, and that's the other part about it is I'm really pride myself on connecting networks. So that's the other part about it is I want to know what you do, because when you're in tech, hey, I'm an IT director. We may be looking for a new person. Hey, you're in this, you're in HR. Okay, I've got some friends in HR that's looking for somebody. So I think that's another part of it is connecting those dots and being able to say, I've got something for you, you've got something for me. How can we help each other out?
I do think it is situational, because to me, there seems to be a difference when a Black person asks me that and a white person asking me that.
That's true.
Because
what
they could be sizing me up.
Yeah. I do feel like that when white people ask, it is a little like, oh, you're trying to size me up. No, don't get it twisted. I can say I'm in IT, and no, I don't work customer service in IT. Like, I'm a director at IT. Like, so I can see kind of that difference there. So even the assumptions when I say I'm in IT, they're going to go to that entry level position a lot of times. Did we lose your Ferg? Did you hear me?
All right, Buff, what you got?
That's on you.
We all answered?
Yeah.
Quick question, then, hopefully. So I saw a post from Kev on stage. It wasn't a bad one. And I think we might have hit on this before. And if so, then we can drop it. Can heterosexual men truly be happy with a relationship where the partner, a woman, out-earns them?
Yeah, we definitely have talked about it, but it's one of those questions where you can roll that one out at least once or twice a year.
He made some good points, and I just wanted to see, and if so, how does that work?
So let me let the listeners know. My wife disagrees with me. I think I would be completely fine if she began to out-earn me. She thinks that I would begin to, I don't know, either have some resentment or be uncomfortable with it or whatever the case may be. And I mean, it's one of those things, I don't know. I can only tell you what I think and how I think I would feel. But I don't think I would have an issue whatsoever. And I think I'm going to try not to step on any landmines. I think most men won't have a problem with that. I think the problem comes in is if that man feels like his woman is treating him differently than if he was making more money. So when y'all get in the argument, she starts saying stuff like, well, this is my house, or I'm the one that make the money, then hell yeah, I'm going to have a problem with it. I'm not going to be comfortable with it. But if we are a team and we remain a team, good times, bad times, whether we arguing and disagreeing or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, you don't look, because if my woman is out earning me, I'm still going to contribute just as much as I do now. If you keep it in the team dynamic and you don't try to hold that over me, because I don't think reasonable men hold it over their woman when they make more than them. Like hell, I'm the breadwinner here. You know what I mean? So I think most men would be okay with it. It's just that if she starts treating him differently, that's where the issues come in at.
Yeah, I think that's the dynamic you have to really worry about is guys are raised to be that provider, and the assumption is they make more money. So, and there are guys, I think the same guys that would throw that up, I make the money, it's my house, this, that, and the other, are the same guys that won't feel comfortable if the woman makes more than them because they don't have that leverage anymore. Yeah. Right. So for guys like us, right, that we would never throw that up in our woman's face, right? Like that's just kind of the assumption is that we're a team and I make the money right now. I think for me, I definitely wouldn't have a problem with it personally, right? But I also, I think we mentioned this last time we brought this up, right? Share our salaries with each other and we use it for motivation. So I feel like that's the exact same thing that would happen if my spouse made more money than me. I'm just going to be like, you got that raise. Let me go see what I got to do. I got to maneuver now, right? And like I'm gonna do that, but it's not gonna be. I'm still gonna be rooting for you. Like it's not me trying to break you down because I want to kind of catch up. It's like, oh, that's motivation right there. And so I'd use it as that. But no, I don't think I'd have an issue with that unless, like you said, Buff, they start coming with this whole, well, I'm the breadwinner, I get to make these choices or whatever. I do still feel like you got to let me be a man, whether you make the money or not. There, right?
Oh,
Well, and not in a I'm the man, I make the decisions, whatever. But you just gotta. There is a little bit of pride and there's a little bit of ego that guys carry that I think women have to understand that you gotta stroke that a little bit. It is what it is.
So what you said, that is one of the reasons why Tabitha think I would have an issue is because I said, if anything, I would let it motivate me to try and go make more. She was like, see, you wouldn't even be able to take it. But I'm like, that's not having an issue with it. That's like, hey, that's giving me a push to try to go and make more. But I think it's two sides to this too, because we're looking at it as both are working and your woman just happens to make more. I think where it really becomes an issue is if the man doesn't work. He's the whole role reversal thing where he stays home, takes care of the kids, and cooks while she goes and work. Now, I do think there are probably more men that would have an issue with that than the other version.
Yeah. You don't like. So I'll hit on the last thing. I mean, I know somebody personally that is their life.
We all do.
Yeah. But I think it goes to the point, and you guys kind of hit on, you recap really well what Kev on stage said, and he broke it down to, like, I think 3 categories. First of all, it was that man has to be secure. It has to be secure. And so when we talk about certain things, I think it wouldn't be as big of a deal for us because I think we're secure, but I think part of that security becomes from our earnings, right? If we the 3 of us being truthful and transparent, we all make damn good livings, right? Now, if you were making $35,000 a year, nothing wrong with making $35,000 a year. But if you're making $35,000 a year and your wife was making $100,000 a year, that might be a little harder to digest for some men because of that insecurity. You know, like, even at my best, I'll never be able to make what she's making. And if your manhood lies in your earning potential and the inability to out earn your spouse, then that can be problematic. So I think even with Rising Rich, but if he was dating somebody that made more than him, it wouldn't be because he makes good money, right? I make good money. You make good money.
Yeah.
Now we make great money.
Right.
But, so it's a little easier to swallow because, she made $300,000 a year. I made $200,000 a year. We made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of that is we have to change that dynamic versus men bring money, women bring, homemaking and everything else, to let's just create a happy household, whatever that means, right? You bring what you bring, I bring what I bring, and we have a happy household because we bring that, right? She may be making that money, but you're bringing that stability. She still don't have to, take the trash out and do all of those things, and you're filling the gaps that she doesn't have, right? She doesn't have time because she's flying to meetings and she's out of town 2-3 days out of the week and everything like that. So you're taking care of the kids and picking those up. You guys have created this home and this relationship that works because you're filling the gaps that she needs to fill, and it might not be money. And that's what guys have to start understanding, that as you don't have to bring money. That's not the thing you have to be bringing to the relationship anymore all the time.
So I'm going to kind of go with Byron was saying, and I agree with Tab in a sense where when you said, hey, that motivated me to go make more, that means it's not a direct or unhealthy competition, but there is a part of you that, hey, why didn't you go make more yesterday? Like, why today is the day that you want to go make more, right? we say something, it's like, okay, I need to get my shit, and we're okay with the healthy competition, right? Like it's a motivation competition, and that's just our male machismo beating our chest. Your wife could see that as a competition. Like, why can't you just be proud of me and keep doing what you're doing? You wanting to go make more money should have nothing to do with the amount of money I make. To what Razi was saying, your men have to get past that, but women have to get past that too. So Kev, kind of what both of you guys said, women can't weaponize that. There has to be a thought change where he called it a partnership. There has to be a true partnership where we collectively are trying to make things work together.
Yeah.
Right? It is, you can't sit there if he loses. What I've seen or heard is, it's not that she just out earns him, it's he loses his job. And now, because he's not bringing that same income, there's this look of, you're less than the man than you were a month and a half ago when you had this job. So it's not, hey, we're in this together. It's, well, you're not bringing in the money, so you're less than a man all of a sudden. You can't weaponize the finances, because we don't want, we are trying to get to society where men aren't weaponizing finances anymore. Men are trying to bring more to the proverbial table than just finances, and leveraging that as the base for their manhood. It's, women can't weaponize it, men can't be insecure, and they have to be a true goal to a true partnership. If there's no partnership where we're in this together, where if he makes 60 and you make 120, y'all have a household income of 180. What do you do with that? Would you live the same life if he made 120 and you made 60, or is a life different? Because I think that becomes part of the dynamics, right? We talk about what's mine is ours, what's hers is hers type thing, where, even if she make $1 million, you ain't gonna see that whole $1 million, but your wives or your ladies, they have access to your full income. Like, if you had to put every dime that you make into the household, that is the expectation. She can make the exact same amount. She's like, okay, you might get half of that.
It truly is a question for both sexes, because I have spoken to a woman who was having a hard time with how a man needs to make a certain amount. And if he makes this amount, she felt like she would be pulling herself backwards by getting in a relationship with this man. I'm accustomed to certain things when I go on trips, and now I gotta pay for him too. And no, like, so
welcome to life. Welcome to our life.
Women can't weaponize it, man. And women, you can't let your friends weaponize it either when you get in a relationship with that man.
Yep.
Like, girl, ain't you tired of doing for him? Like, it's a question for both people, man. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, in today's society, I think it's very rare that it's tough for couples to survive that, because like you said, there's outside factors. It could be the mother-in-law, and it could be the dad, it could be like,
and I'm saying, don't start out like that. I'm not saying, ladies, you make 120 and he makes 35, and so now you guys are combining finances today, right? I think that has to be a serious relationship. Y'all need to be married, that type of thing, before you're like, okay, we make a household income of 180. It's not we make 180 together day two of the relationship, right? Like that you need to be smart about that too, because there are guys out there that want to use you for making that one.
Yeah, definitely. But it goes both ways. There's women out there, because the day they meet, she wants access to his 120.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, you should be taking me to the Poconos. You should be fluing me out to places. So I'm not saying that women should court men and all this stuff. I just think they should. And until we can, and we got to jump off, until we can, I missed that. What'd you say?
No, because I want that to be a future question. I'm writing that down right now. I want that to be a future. Keep going, Ferg.
Until we can accept as a culture, as a generation, that things have changed and they will never be the same. I think we're trying, in this dating world, marriage world, we're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. And it's not going to work. The things that didn't work in the past, and the most successful relationships I've seen have had to cater their relationships, their finances, their whatever to what's going on today's world. We look at, and I'll leave with this, we look at everything else in the world has evolved. Technology, healthcare, education, freaking IT, everything has evolved, but we want to continue to have these traditional relationships that are not working. If 50% of marriages are ended in divorce, and you have a lot of people not even getting married. But if that was a business model, we would go into another business. If your healthcare company had the success rate of the marriage rates, there would be a drastic change in healthcare, drastic change in everything. So we as a society have to say, 50-50 might not work. There has to be a new dynamic. Stay-at-home parents, two income households is almost a must. Stop weaponizing manhood, womanhood, these proverbial, a real man does this and yada, yada, yada. So that's a whole other conversation. But
it should happen more often than not, because statistically, Black women, if you are interested in Black men, y'all make more than us on average. But yeah, I know you got a hard out. So
yeah, we got to
let's
roll.
go.
Everybody good? All right. So the only thing I got, man, is Jasmine Crockett of Texas, Robin Kelly of Illinois, also Juliana Stratton of Illinois, Pamela Stevenson of Kentucky, Priscilla Williams Teal of Mississippi, Nikayla Thomas of Oklahoma, and Catherine Bruce of South Carolina are all women of color that are running for the U.S. Senate. And in the case of Illinois, Robin Kelly and Juliana Stratton will primary against one another, and then that victor will become the Democratic nominee for Senate. Let's root these ladies on. Or at least, you know what, either just vote for them because they're women of color, but check them out. If you like what you hear, you like what you see, let's support them. I live a whole time zone away from Texas, but I'm going to do whatever I can to try and help Miss Crockett win. I think that would be cool, man. It'd be cool to see some different flavor in the Senate, man. So keep those 7 women names in mind, and we'll see. Right now, we only have 2 women of color currently in the Senate. Angela also Brooks and, she done slipped my mind, of Delaware. Blunt Rochester. So it'd be nice to get a little more color in there. We don't have enough time in the show to discuss this. All I'm going to say is Coach of Michigan, I ain't here to judge, dog. I'm sure you beating yourself up enough as is. I know you wish you chose differently, though.
Yeah.
God damn.
Stupid.
God damn. And I made a post about this, and I stand by it. Shedeur Sanders fans, y'all are getting annoying. All right? It's okay to root for him. Not everything is a conspiracy. At one point, y'all was yelling for him to start. Then he gets to start, and I swear, you can't make this up, I saw a great number of you saying that this is a conspiracy because look at who Cleveland is playing. So they're setting him up to fail. Bro, it's the NFL. Everybody good. Mm-hmm. Every team got somebody that's good that can cause you problems. Cleveland sucks, but they got Myles Garrett.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, just root for the young man. Not everything, yes, the NFL can be a dirty business. We've seen what they did to Kaepernick. Hell, I don't know how many people know, but they did some colluding during Lamar Jackson's renegotiation for his contract extension. They didn't want Baltimore to pay him a certain amount because they're like, hey, man, we need you to keep the price down, dog. We trying to stay rich. Can't be giving away too much. So the NFL does collude. I will give you that. Not everything is a conspiracy. Let's just root for the young man's success. I hope he gets traded from Cleveland so I can truly root for him, because right now he's in the Ravens division and I can't root for him so much. So that's all I got.
Yeah. Speaking of conspiracies, the only thing that I got is 1776. y'all know about that little warrior bonus or warrior dividend that they like to call it there. I just want to explain a little bit of that to the people out there and let you understand that that was pure marketing genius from Trump's team. That money was already allocated from the big beautiful bill as BAH, or housing allowance for the uninitiated, and it was already allocated to go to the soldiers. What they did is they said that we want to repackage that, repurpose it, give it out to only the people we want to. And so for some of the people who would have gotten an actual bonus based on their BAH didn't get it because of the restrictions they put on the warrior dividend. So again, very, very good marketing. Can't be mad at Trump for it and them, but you know, it's that money was coming to you regardless. And actually some people that were supposed to get it didn't get it based on how they changed it up. So, but shout out to the folks that did get it. I mean, it was a good Christmas bonus. I ain't mad. You know, any money's good money when it comes to that. You know, shout out to y'all, but just understand how they're playing y'all. This is as bad as the stimmy checks when you really think about it. It is, I don't want to hear this in the midterms and in the general elections that he gave us $1,776. So that's why I'm voting for Trump, because they didn't do that. Congress did that, and they actually screwed some of y'all. But just throw that out there, let y'all know it ain't all peaches and cream. And it's really ain't nothing but steak and lobster, because he bombing Syria right now. He about to send y'all to war. So, you know, get ready for that too. So that's all I got, man.
In Venezuela.
And Venezuela. Oh, and we're going to talk about that one. But yeah.
So 2 things. 1, speed recovery, Jake Paul.
Hey, Jake won, man. I'll take what, $92 million for a broken jaw? I'll do that too. Whatever.
Twice broken?
Twice broken. Whatever. I don't care. That's $92 million.
So did they say how much
Joshua got?
Yeah.
He got like 100 or some million, but he's only going to be able to keep half because we're taxing him and the UK is taxing him. So he's getting taxed by 2 different countries.
I mean, 60 million to beat up a white dude that's been talking to you for God knows how long.
So, hey man, shout out to Jake Paul.
Not to beat up a white dude, but to beat up that white dude that's been talking noise and disrespecting the sport.
Right, it's not a hate crime.
So, yeah.
But I want to shout out to Jake Paul. Jake Paul's cracked the code on, he is doing a lot for boxing and getting a lot of eyes on it. I mean, and so I think this is one of the things that, you know, Anthony Joshua was getting a shot and getting really good looks. This was probably his biggest payday, if I remember right, that he's ever gotten. So he's done something that it's one of those things that boxing in general is shifting. And I think it's almost like you're going to have professional wrestling and, you know, actual Olympic wrestling. That's what this is going to be. We got like this boxing-ish type of thing that Jake Paul's doing, and you're going to have real boxing. And people hopefully know the difference there, because I had to explain the difference to folks. I'm like, this should be WWE. So
yeah, but I mean, it's called the sweet science for the reason. Like it's supposed to be the purest sport, but that's a whole nother conversation. But last but not least, I want to thank everybody who reached out to me for my birthday. There was I don't know if it was more people this year, but considering I was traveling and things for work, I didn't get to talk as much and text back as quickly or, you know, communicate in groups. So I saw things in big spurts, and also being in meetings, you know, when your phone rings or pings or you look up and you see all these mixed text messages and calls, it stands out a little more. And so, but it definitely was appreciated. I definitely felt loved and appreciated during the time. So thank you to all friends, families, and well-wishers. I can't say happy birthday back, but I can just say thank you. I guess that's the next best thing. So 3 brothers, no sense. 6 rules of podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Talk to you next week.
Peace.